There's an interesting pairing in our readings today. Our reading from Amos 8, and then our gospel reading, which is the story of Mary and Martha and Jesus. And in that gospel reading, you might know it, Martha is getting lunch together. Mary is sitting at the feet of Jesus. And Martha gets frustrated because she's doing it all by herself. And so she says to Jesus, "Don't you care that I'm doing this by myself? Tell Mary to help me." And Jesus says, "Martha, Martha, you're distracted by many things, but only one thing is necessary, and Mary has chosen it." And sometimes we blow this up over proportion. We talk about how, we're called to be a Christian, not act like a Christian. Or we talk about the difference between doing and being. But really in the story, it's about an invitation. It is an invitation given to both Mary and Martha. That in that moment, not all the time, but in that moment, they are invited to sit in the posture of discipleship and to sit with Jesus. And I think that that's an interesting pairing to our Amos reading, because the gospel talks about this invitation to be with the presence of God in their midst. And one of the ways that Amos says that the northern kingdom of Israel had lost its focus, this godly focus, is that they keep saying, when will the Sabbath be over so we can get back to them all? They say, when will all of this be done so we can get back to that which we truly pursue in our lives, which is economic prosperity, buying and selling and growing our wealth? And so you have this invitation to be in God's presence, either through this invitation by Jesus in their midst or this invitation into the Sabbath. And the question posed to us is, how are we responding? Sometimes the busyness of our lives just gets in the way. Sometimes all the stuff that we cultivate, all the frenetic activity that we surround ourselves in can either make us so distracted that we don't hear the invitation just to stop and be with that loving and grace-filled presence with God. Or we get so wrapped up in that which we are pursuing, in the things of this world that we are pursuing, that the things of God, the invitation of God, just seems to be an annoyance. When will this be over so I can get back to that? And the radical thing that God calls us to is, again, not all the time. We're not called just to sit in the cave for the rest of our lives and shun everything else. But there are times where God calls us to stop and to